So I walk the path. I walk the path of the Sacred Heart. I walk the path of the Sacred Heart. So I'm crossing the freeway, so I don't know how loud it'll be. So I'll do my best. Just thinking about how the heart is the safest place. Your heart is the safest place is what came to me. So it's my guidance talking to me, and I'm internalizing it and sharing it. So my heart is the safest place. I have cleared and I have healed the attacks on my heart, the denials and rejections of my heart, whether by me or those outside of me. And I protect it. You know, it's such a beautiful energy to live from. And there are times that the connection with myself, the connection with God, the connection with my purpose feels better than any connection with anything else. And so I'm just, there's the reality that I'm facing of people, mostly men, reaching out to me with their hands to dap. And I explain usually at the beginning it's an energy thing, and I'll do a heart to heart, because I feel like if I can get that out, I say wherever you are, because there's a connection that is being sought in a casual way, but the deeper inner truth is that people want to connect in an intimate way, in a deep way, in a safe way. And so I don't like the casualness. I don't like the disparity or the discrepancy or the divide or the disconnect between actions and what people really desire and really need for their soul and their soul growth. And so I've been experiencing people. I've been here 3 months, and everybody knows that I don't like to be touched, especially by just randomly. If I initiate it or if I'm in a certain energy, yes. And I usually ask, because that's how I would like to be treated, right? And so, unless somebody's giving me an open invitation, which does happen. But I've had a couple people in the last couple days, one in particular, who he doesn't feel good at any time. And so he's been reaching out to dap me, and there's a thought that I feel like that comes with it, like, I can do whatever I want. Like he doesn't touch other people, but and then he does the hop. I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna. It's a bravado, and it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a control thing, and it's seeing what he can get away with. That's the energy that I feel. It doesn't feel like I love you, I respect you, I'm trying to connect with you, hope you have a good day. There's a politeness and a fakeness above what I see. So the underneath is how I feel, and energy is truth. People will say energy doesn't lie. The inverse or the next thought is that energy is truth. And I have to trust myself even when it feels like, I don't know. Usually by the second time, I really just have to trust myself, because my body knows, right? And it's not against the other person. And that's what I was trying to say at the beginning when I first started doing this 2 years ago. It's 2024, Saturday, August 31st. I'm in Sacramento, California, and I'm walking around thinking about going to this art walk. It's like a chalk art festival that's going on this weekend. So I'm sort of on my way there and just chatting. And so, what was I saying? So there's been this, so I used to say a couple years ago when I first started this, because I didn't want to be touched. I had saved my body I hadn't been touched before I left on my homeless journey. It had been over 4 months, and then I had got a fist bump from somebody after the 4-month mark, and then I got a hug from somebody a little after the 6-month mark. So my body was as much to itself as anybody could be. I would think about the women in my life, especially who were mothers. They haven't known a time where their bodies aren't being touched. on a regular basis. It's just the way it is, or they're not, you know, it's just the way it is. And I love touch, but I want to be touched by people who love me. And I want to be touched by, like, at that time, I only wanted to be touched by my lover and whatever kids we were going to have in future. I'm like, why does nobody's entitled to my body. And I was saving myself for that. And then I got into situations where, socially it was a part of it, even if I explain myself. So this is 2 years later, and I don't have that empathy or that sympathy or that patience. I've had that, right? But we're 3 months in, a little past that, and I feel like one guy was trying to wait for me to dap him yesterday, because we were in a group, a couple of us were talking, and he came up, and he's super friendly, and he's a painter, and he draws, and he's just a teddy bear of a guy. I like him. You know, but he was waiting for a dap. And I remember the last time when we were outside that he did that, and I was like, heart to heart, he didn't, oh man, and kind of waved his hand. So that was a rejection, right? So I'm going off of that, not holding it against him, obviously, but being aware that that's where he was on that day, and this is where I'm at. And I've moved on to even greater love for myself and the world and my environment. It's a constant increase. So I am meeting him where I'm at, and I'm also protecting my heart and my energy. So I didn't see him either. I didn't see him until he tapped me on my shoulder, and I looked around, and he shook his head and grinned. So he had been waiting. He had been there because he had tapped the guy in front of me. And I didn't know that, because I'm into my conversation. If I'm talking to somebody, especially one-on-one, that's my preferred way of communication. I'm present, you know? And so I'm not really everybody else's background. That's just how it is, you know? Unless the person I'm talking to brings my attention to other people. And so I guess this was first just about protecting heart. I'm also venting because the one guy that I'm having the issue with is a worker there, and I just see him differently. If I was a kid, this is why kids, it needs to be practiced, body autonomy. If I was a kid, especially if I was a little girl, I would be like, I just feel like he has no boundaries, and I feel like he'll do whatever he can to get away with things, and that he has mistaken me. And when I just said that, God works. God works to me. I asked when I was younger, when I was a teenager, maybe 16 or 17, could I be an answered prayer? And could I be a blessing wherever I go, no matter what it looked like, no matter how I was being perceived or how I was acting, because of course I'm learning, practicing, you know, agape love, and just being social and being the human being that I find attractive or interesting. So I'm developing myself that way. I'm talking about the past. I'm developing myself that way, and also seeking interactions to practice becoming that, right? So on a spiritual level, there was a lot of tests. There was a lot of karmic things being worked out, because I was also working on 7 generations. I was working on, because I figured if I could do 7 generations, and this comes from the Native American, from what I learned from Native American heritage, thinking about 7 generations in the future, our impact and what we're doing, how it will affect people in the future. And I heard that when I was a kid. So as a young adult, I'm thinking 7 generations. As a generational curse breaker who ended up, after all of that, ended up just with me. That's why I'm protective of me. I contain my ancestors, and I contain all the work that I've done, and all the goodness and future. And so when I think about that, and I'm in the present, and I think about that, there is a walk that I walk. There is a flow that I flow. You know, there's a joy that I can exude and express that is my preferred state. And I'm also a part of nature. And nature is not just one state of being, except that it changes. And that what I like about nature is that the part of nature I'm connected to right now is growth. The seed from the root to the blossom, and then what else happens after that. So it's my own tree, my own earth, my own universe, and my teachings of what I know. And it's not right or wrong. It's just something that I'm working with right now that's right for me. And so when I said it's not right or wrong, I meant like, for other people, people have their own truths, and that's the beautiful part. Like, you see what you see, you have your own. That's why I think people are so exciting and precious when I'm able to express that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but most times, I don't know, that exuberance is not appropriate to the environments that I've been in, and I am ready to be in my own energy and to be with energies that respect and want to see me, or encourage, or just be like, about my growth and about the things that I want to do, because it's all good. You know, so I was in a renting phase. I'm always in a playful phase underneath. And sometimes I'm serious, because I feel like I'm going through things that I'm over and that we're too old for. I used to work with 3 to 5 year olds, which was a great age of people to work with, because they're learning they're learning so much. It's just, there's so many things, right? And I wanted to be a part of that energy of teaching how to emotionally regulate, how to be social, and learn the harmony and the balance in the two. Just like you're learning the letters of the alphabet, or the colors, the days of the week, you know, counting the basic numbers. It's the same principle, but it's emotional regulation and it's vibrational. So, and as I've gotten older, especially the last 3-4 years on this homeless journey, I was in a shelter. I'm in a shelter now. I was in a shelter for a year, and I've been here 3 months, not over in a row. And I was in a shelter 5 months. So now a total of my life has been spent a year and 8 months out of my 46 years. The term shelter, the fact that some of them are Christian-based, where no matter what's going on, because I believe in God and I love Jesus Christ and I love myself and my neighbor as myself, I can be anywhere. But if I'm in a state of healing, of dealing with trauma, and not knowing what to do next except wanting to stay alive, because I know that it is worth staying alive, but it's been day to day, right? That's also been a gift, right? What else do I want to say? While I'm here and while you're here, and I appreciate anybody's listening this far, this is also just a way to connect, and it's a way to witness, and it's a part of my biomythography in time. I also always think about it as faith and love. You know, it's the best love that I can make right now, right? And so that protective of my energy is just that I want to build with the highest love that I am capable of, the highest vibration. And that is my own. It's not like height. For me, it's gratitude, it's thankfulness, it's recognizing the wealth of information that I know. And I'm speaking out about emotions because it's easier, but it translates to so many other facets and perspectives of being. But the emotions, the fact that, let's say that there was 10, there's not, but there's millions. There's so many variations and combinations, but I'm gonna try to, okay, so let's say that there are 10, and I and a lot of people and a lot of beings on this planet have the range of 1 to 10. Some of us have the range of 0 to 10 plus. And that becomes something else. Some of us work with 0 and 1. Some of us work with the primary colors, and some of us work with the mix of everything, because everything, it's a perspective, and it's a way of being, in a way of expressing the energies and translating the energy. So that's what my art does. It's whatever I've intaken, whatever I've thought, people that I've seen, the colors that they're wearing, and any energy that I'm picking up, and any collective energy in the physical space that I'm in, clearing it and making it beautiful. Because all my life, that's been my thought and my energy and my belief and my conscious walk, that there's so much beauty in this world, right? And so that's what I also wanted to share, and that's what I share now. That's what I'm sharing now. And so I walk around with that, and I guess I'm feeling hurt. I meditated this morning. I did my yoga. I had my tea. I'm on my walk. You know, I've smoked a little, which I love plant medicine. And I wish that there was just more respect for my body and what I say about it. And I don't want to have to explain my whole everything to be like, I don't want you to touch me, and I don't want to touch you if the energy doesn't allow. I'm just not interested. I used to say, I just want to be touched by my wife. And when I said that, some of the guys would be like, I had people start touching me more, or like thinking it was a joke, or just fucking shit up, right? So then I just had to know that they're not really affecting my energy. It's hard to describe. It's my mental, but not my actual love and that energy, which is the most powerful energy, which is what I crave from. But the mental is a part of it, right? And the emotions are part of it. And the pain that I felt from the past of not being heard or respected is still up. I can transmute it easily or understand and forgive. It's not, I'm hoping after people are more aware, after we're all like, like no more, that it would just be funny. That's what I'm waiting for, the joke or the punchline. I'm waiting for it to just be like, but for right now, it just feels like, damn, you know? It reminds me of, I was in junior ROTC when I was younger, and I was an officer towards the end. I always had high rank, but I was a first lieutenant after the 3rd year. I didn't do it the 4th year, and I didn't join the military for reasons that I will talk about in future. And so anyways, we walk around. We had our uniform day on Wednesdays, and sometimes we had events over the weekends. You see somebody in uniform, you salute. You see an officer, this is terrible. I was like, that's my left hand. There's no way I was. So you see, and you salute as you walk, even if it's in the corridors, wherever you are. It's just like, it's not just in class, it's not just on the field. It's as you're going about your day. And so that's how I kind of feel like, you wouldn't touch an officer or someone you respect, or someone, you just, and I'm not expecting a salute, except that I like this. I like the heart to heart. My heart sees your heart, and that's what I get to explain if I get to talk to them on another level or another day, or some people get it right away. Which is comforting, but it's like your heart is always with you while you're alive, and my heart is with me, and they're connected through love. They're connected through this moment. The fact that we are in each other's physical presence is a very big deal, because where I'm at, you know, planet Earth, I said Sacramento, August 31st, 2024, California, West Coast, Northern Hemisphere, depending on how you're viewing things. And what do we call this? It's a Milky Way galaxy, but what's the solar system called? Maybe it's just called the solar system. Somebody please comment about that. I felt like we had a name for it, because I think we have Milky Way for the galaxy. honestly not sure. Why did I bring that up? This is the... Alright, so I might be done because I can't think why I brought that up. Something about planet Earth and something about... Maybe I just wanted to ground it to the moment and get myself back to where I need to be, because I'm practically actually going to a park. I'm gonna go ahead and make that walk. It's about 1.5 miles, and I'm sure it's about 8:30, something like that. By the time this is posted, it'll be around 9. By the time you watch it, it'll be whatever time, and I'm hoping you're having a good time. And thank you for journeying with me, with my thoughts, with my feelings, with my remembrances, with my healings, with my yeah, just sharing and wanting to connect. And Doje.